Now, when it comes to social politics, I take a very interesting stance whereby I tend to see myself as being a little more in the middle, as opposed to being, for the left or the right or whatever. For me, it doesn't really matter. If someone mentions a fact and it's a fact, then I agree with them because it's a fact and nothing more. It has nothing to do with whether or not the viewpoint is expressed by somebody who regards themselves as a liberal or someone who regards themselves as a conservative. I really don't care about that. But in this video, the scathing truth or Matt Walsh exposed. So let's see, let's find out.
I've been successful in fighting against the left's agenda, especially the trans agenda, and especially recently. Those who support the sexual mutilation of children know full well that I am a threat to them because we're winning and they're losing, and they know that too. And they can't engage with our arguments. They can't oppose us on the battlefield of ideas. So instead, they look for another way. And now they're convinced they found their kill shot against me by using the same method they always use, which is digging up ancient history, doing the internet equivalent of rummaging through garbage cans to find things that were done and said years ago, which can be used to defame and, they hope, silence me today. So yes, my PR...
Obviously, he's talking about the cancel culture. So this is obviously cancel culture. Cancel culture is a funny habit of digging up information of your past life and whatever you might have done in hoping that they will find a time machine or time capsule that will transport them or you back in time where they can hold you accountable for your past crimes, if you may. So, yeah.
Our team over at Media Matters apparently wasn't satisfied to promote just my current show and all the work they do there. So they decided to go back 15 years to my time as a rock radio host on an obscure station in Delaware, which is also an obscure state. And they spent, it would seem, many tedious hours listening to segments and bits from my time as a shock jock in my early 20s. It could not have been easy to sit through. I commend their persistence, at least. And now they've compiled their findings into an expose that promises to reveal my, quote, sordid past. Honestly, I never thought of myself as having a sordid past. I figured my life was far too boring and sort of banal and normal for that. But it turns out that I'm a more interesting person than I had previously thought. So as for the vultures at Media Matters and the leftists who've picked up this hit piece...
Can you just acknowledge the fact that he's just like trolling right now? Because Matt Walsh is trolling. He's trolling right now. Okay? He's just trolling them left, right, and center,
For evidence that I made offensive remarks when I was 23 years old. That, in their minds, is far more relevant to the public. It's a matter of greater national urgency, they think. So, with that in mind, let's talk now, if this is what they want to talk about, for a few moments about the deep, dark secrets of my past, the skeletons that have been hiding in my closet. So, when I was 20 years old, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a small town in Delaware and started working at a rock station with a staggering audience that easily reached into the hundreds, I think. Those are my humble beginnings, or maybe the dark and sinister origins of the world's most notorious team. Of course, is true. They also accused me of physically abusing our radio interns by tasing one of them as a joke. That's also true. And I submit, still funny. In fairness, I got tased too. In fact, I invented a game back in those days called Taser Trivia, where, as the name suggests, you are asked trivia questions, and if you get it wrong, you get tased. So I'll post it for you now. Here it is.
Category will be science and nature.
Okay.
And the free question. What astrological chart takes its name from a Greek word meaning circle of little animals?
Oh, no. No. Hold on. All right. Astrological chart that takes its name from what?
Circle. Let me read this again.
Oh, this sucks, guys.
Get the taser out. Circle of little animals.
Circle of little animals.
Just answer it.
The answer is
What are you doing?
the chart of magnesia. Now, if I should be canceled for anything, it should be for being such a pansy in that video. Like, that was embarrassing, actually. Get it together. I mean, it does hurt to get tased, and for some reason.
Okay. Yeah. So they found a video where he was tasing his friend or his buddy or something like that. What's the point? And I'm not sure if I'm following. What's the badness here? that he's like the taser master, or he's the evil guy that started tasing his white friends or something. Like, what's the idea? He's Electro from Spider-Man? Like, I don't get it.
We decided to add the blindfolds into it as well to just make it more, because you never know when the tase is coming. Our biggest mistake was that we used Trivial Pursuit questions. We used like old school Trivial Pursuit as the questions for taser trivia. I don't think anyone got the answer right, so we just got tased 50 times. Anyway, that's the sort of content that you missed out on if you didn't live in Southern Delaware in the early 2000s. But there's more. Media Matter.
Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of things that you would do when you're much younger. When people are much younger, they do a lot of dumb things. We played a lot of crazy games when we were much younger. I'm pretty sure a lot of them have to do like slapping each other and stuff like that. I can't imagine having to play a game like that where we're slapping each other. And maybe one of the girls wants to play along and we have to slap her too. And imagine if I played a game like that 15 years ago, maybe it was in varsity or something. And somebody digs that video up and they're like, I'm a misogynist or something. Because I was playing a game whereby, I don't know, I don't know how we'd be smacking each other or whatever, but I'd be like, I don't know, maybe it's because I know we play a game sometimes where you have to hold your hands like that and you gotta move your hand very, very quickly before the other person smacks it or something. So maybe they say like it's I don't know, like I'm promoting women abuse or something like that. If you're important enough, they will find that video of you smacking each other, even the girl. It doesn't matter whether she's participating voluntarily, but they will find the video and they will cancel it. They will cancel you because of that. So I don't know. It's just silly, man. It's one of those stupid things that just goes to show how cancel culture is just ridiculous.
Reveals that I once challenged the intern to lick the inside of a dumpster, which again is true, but the part they leave out is that afterwards we called a doctor on the air to find out what sort of diseases he might have picked up from the stunt. And from what I recall, the answer was many. Also, again, as Media Matters exposes, like any other hacky morning show at the time, we did prank calls, and some of the prank calls were offensive by current standards. Yeah. Sometimes on a call, I would imitate a black man. On one occasion, I attempted to portray a man with split personalities, one of whom was black and the other white. It was very...
Whackhead Simpson did that a lot. If you don't know, Whackhead Simpson is Darren Simpson is a South African comedian who got really, really popular for doing prank phone calls. He calls celebrities, and sometimes other people might call him and say, hey, can you prank my dad or my wife or our boss or something? He got really popular for that. And he would create all these caricatures of different voices, because in South Africa, we've got like multicultural people. Sometimes it might be like a white dude, or it might be a black dude, or it might be an Indian guy or whatever, because he's trying to embody a different character. Leon Schuster, I heard very recently that he got cancelled or something, or some people were trying to get him cancelled because of his videos. Leon Schuster is famous, obviously, for portraying different characters. He wears all these disguises and costumes and so on. He could disguise himself as a white man, Afrikaans white man, wear a disguise as a white man or an Indian man or whatever, and he does hidden cameras, basically. So he made them really, really popular back in the day. So I guess people are going back in time, looking at some of those videos. They're saying he's wearing blackface. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people enjoy watching Leon Schuster. I still enjoy watching Leon Schuster and everything. So I don't know what they're talking about, but that's a totally different scenario and situation. But sheesh, man. Goodness gracious.
But the left is not satisfied to merely accuse me of racism, terrorism, political extremism, workplace violence. They're also absurdly claiming that I advocated child brides. And for that bit of defamation, they are using another segment from over a decade ago where we discussed the issue of teen pregnancy. And I pointed out that in the past, teen pregnancy wasn't considered a problem because people got married younger. I was attempting to highlight, in an admittedly awkward and rambling way in my early 20s, riffing off the top of my head during a rock morning show to an audience of almost no one at the time, the fact that unwed pregnancy is a core problem that plagues our society, and is still a problem even when the unwed pregnant person is...
This is interesting, what he's trying to juxtaposition, the idea that, teen pregnancy wasn't a problem back in the day when people got married younger, when they were still teenagers. So that gives you an idea of perception. How we perceive social problems or how we perceive a problem is usually based on what informs us within our own time and within our own culture, what culture informs us today. So when somebody sees a teenager being pregnant, they're like, oh, a child, Yeah. Jesus and Mary, sorry, not Jesus, sorry. Joseph and Mary got married when they were like teenagers, way back in the day. 16-year-old and, I don't know, 18-year-old or something. Somewhere around those ages. I don't remember the exact.
No matter the age, I argued at the time, pregnancies become a crisis when they happen outside of marriage without a stable family structure in place to care for the child. This was, again, not an issue in earlier times because people got married young and stayed married. It's not the way our society is today, though, of course. At its core, it's a rather uncontroversial historical observation, but the left has latched on to this point from years ago and tried to use it to flip the groomer label around on me, accusing me of, quote, promoting teen pregnancy and even child rape, as some of the libelous statements would have it. This is a defamatory lie. They know it's a lie, and it shows how desperate they are. They've chosen the most toxic smears available because smears are all they have. Now, in summary, my enemies have thrown every last thing they can at me, the whole kitchen sink and a few of the appliances to go along with it. I'm not the first person to get this treatment, obviously. I certainly won't be the last. Their objective is nothing less than the wholesale destruction of my life and my career. That's what they're going for. That's the price they expect me to pay for opposing them effectively. They hope to force me to submit and apologize, at which point, of course, as it goes, they'll shoo me away with my tail between my legs, out of public view, out of the arena, off into obscurity. This is my punishment, the life sentence they expect me to serve for trying to stop them from abusing and butchering children. And it's not just me they're after. They want to send a message to everybody else. They want to send a message to you that if you stand up against them, this is what happens. They want to make me into another head on a spike, one of many. They put out on the edge of town a warning to anyone else who might think about disobeying their rules.
Yeah, it's got a serious legitimate point there. I've seen there's been a massive shift in media, in case people haven't been noticing a lot lately. Because if you look at a lot of social media platforms, you look at Jordan Peterson being cancelled for expressing himself, actually being accused of hate speech, but without there being an actual determining factor for what is actually hate speech in what he said, or bullying or mocking or ridiculing somebody because of their gender or sexuality or whatever. That's the same reason that Twitter blocked me. Okay, Twitter blocked me for the same reason. I made a video about that. I tested it out just to find out like what's up. So dead name, apparently. So it's becoming apparent that what he's saying there is a swift warning that they usually target people like Matt Walsh or people who are popular because they're trying to send a message that, you shouldn't speak against something, you shouldn't disagree with something, even if it's factual, which is where it gets really, really disturbing. Because the powers that be determine, or when they determine what people can say, what they shouldn't say on the basis of what they like or what they dislike, because that's really the key point of the matter. They're sending a message to me, just regular old nobody YouTuber like me, and everybody, society in general. Wow, that's a very, very, very cautious word that is giving people right there. Watch what's happening in society. Okay.
So here's my official answer, for the record. Kiss my ass.
Whoa.
I do not apologize.
Where is that coming from? It's YouTube. You could say that. Let's go back to that. Just a little bit.
Anyone else who might think about disobeying their rules.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my official answer, for the record. Kiss my ass. I do not apologize. In fact, by all rights, you sick freaks should be the ones apologizing to me for lying and defaming me, and doing it all because I'm trying to prevent you from sexually mutilating children. You damned monsters. You child-abusing psychopaths. I wouldn't apologize to you, soulless parasites, if I had a gun to my head. Instead, I'd rather just tell you all to piss off. I apologize for nothing. I concede nothing. I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob of degenerate morons.
Oh, wow.
The secret they never say out loud is that nobody is truly canceled unless they consent to it and they willingly play their assigned roles.
Okay. Whoa. Time out. Stop. Whoa. What just happened? Yo, Matt. I understand that he's pissed off and everything and so on. Whoa, where is that coming from? Well, I guess, I mean, I understand where it's coming from, but I mean, I suppose it's not. Listen, if you haven't watched or haven't seen the documentary that is made called What is a Woman, probably for those who tend to lean more towards liberals and so on and don't really want to hear anything from Daily Wire or those who are conservatives, probably they might ignore it, but you would understand where he's coming from. And I think I understand where he's coming from when he says that, pitchfork morons or whatever, all these names that he's using to call them, because he understands that there's a larger issue going on, and a lot of people don't really understand the greater issue that is really going on and happening. There's a lot of things that the left tends to disguise, and they pick and choose who to speak and advocate for them. They're manipulating the medical industry, the people performing surgeries on people that are doing a lot of damage to their bodies, but they don't really talk about that sort of a thing. It's crazy. So I understand where he's coming from. You see, from the mob mentality that's coming after him, cancel culture, the woke culture, whatever it is. Like, I get where he's coming from. So I do kind of get it. I just wasn't expecting it. That was okay. Yeah, all right. That was gold. That was entertainment gold right there, man.
Well, I do not consent.
Ooh, okay. It's something that you just said right there. Nobody is cancelled unless they consent. I've always felt that cancel culture is just stupid, to be honest with you. Like, in my view, honest view, cancel culture is a really dumb thing. Like, seriously, he's right about that. Nobody can cancel you unless you cancel yourself. So whenever people say somebody is cancelled, I always ask myself, like, what do you mean? They're still alive. They're still speaking. They're still going on with their life. They're still going on doing what they do best. You know what I mean? So anyway.
They're assigned roles. Well, I do not consent. And I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going anywhere. I am more motivated than ever to oppose you and to fight against everything you stand for, because I hate everything you stand for. Wow. And I hate it more with each passing day. Whoa. So you can try to humiliate me, you can try to ruin my reputation, you can accuse me of all of the most heinous crimes that you can invent in your tiny, feverish little brains, but I am not going anywhere. Staying in the fight, never leaving. I promise you that. Also, for the record, I will always maintain that tasers are a wonderful source of comfort. That's not going to change that.
That's Matt Walsh right there. Yeah, look, you guys tell me what you think about that. I follow American politics a lot. I follow a lot of what's going on, and I follow the commentaries. I listen to everybody. I listen to, whether you're liberal or you're conservative or whatever. I listen to everybody because I like to have a balanced view on what the actual issues are, because I like to do my research and I understand the American political landscape right now. It's very... it's heated. It's heated with this left-right wing type of thing, dialogues going on. It's heated, but such things happen when you live in a world where truth becomes unevenly saturated, and not everybody is given equal opportunity to really express themselves. Truth becomes skewed in the name of what some feel and deem to be their own version of truth, etc. It leads to this. This is a time where you see a lot of pushback. People are starting to just kind of like say, hey, you know what, we've had enough. This is too much, man. You know what I mean? And I think Matt has just sort of like saying, yeah, I think he's always had enough. He's always had enough. But I think at some point in time, people can just press your buttons a little too much. But yeah, but I like the fact that he just said everything so calmly and rationally. Or maybe that's his way of saying things, or that's his way of expressing himself in an extreme manner. I don't know, but he always seems to have this calm manner. Even in the documentary What is a Woman, he had this very calm demeanor to him and everything, which was very interesting. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Did Matt go a little too far, or do you think that it was justified? His response was very, very justified in what he's said. But anyway, so you tell me. Otherwise, thanks for watching. God bless and see you on my next video. All right, cheers.